videos intended for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki, and a big shout out this morning to Trey over at Max World Entertainment. Brother, we love you. We support you. All of us here at Mornings of Mischief, brother. Thank you for being here today. Good morning, Bird of Prey 5, Kapla. Give that nephew of Prey a big hug for me. Good morning, Starry-Eyed Girl. Good morning, Lori Roberts, the Destructor. She is here today in chat, folks. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Psycho Dwarf 9, Colin P. Smith, Purple Valkyrie, and Samantha Joe. The Valkyries are here, ladies and gentlemen. Project Storytime. Good morning, Jedi Bill 797. Mark the Infinitely Tired. Mexican Iron Man. I wonder if he's going to take over the studio today again, folks. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Captain Trek. Good morning, Kathia Star, Sit Room, Ensign Ricky, Keely Chow, Roll Tide, Keely, Roll Tide. How is everyone doing? Rambling Canuck, Colin P. Smith. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. Dee Myers is here, ladies and gentlemen. Hamlet Strategy 89. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Yodam Dark Star LDG Pixels. Good morning, everyone. And we are kicking it off with some DC this morning. Oh, man. What are they doing? What are they doing? It makes absolutely zero sense. Captain Trek, all I will say is this. Mexican Iron Man is so awesome. I hope he takes over. Thanks, Cap. Oh, shit. Thank you, Cap. Well, guys, you know what? We have talked about it. We have said it over and over and over again. And they just haven't learned their lesson yet. That by doing what they are doing, by DC doing what they are doing, they are shooting themselves in the foot. They have attacked fans. They have pushed their agenda into their comics. And Max World Entertainment, I say burn all the former giants to the ground and let us rebuild from the ashes. Hell yes, Trey. That is what I'm talking about. They refuse to see that they have made any mistakes whatsoever, and they are going to pay the price, because when you get woke, well, we all know what happens after that, don't we? It is completely asinine to think that DC Comics publisher Jim Lee reveals 25% of the company's publishing line wasn't even breaking even. 1/4, 1/4 of their comic line wasn't even breaking even. We aren't even talking about a profit. We're not talking about just getting by. They were operating at a loss, and they will just keep operating at a loss because they don't understand what they are doing. They don't realize that by destroying the things that people love, all they're going to do is make us hate them. That's all they're going to do. Yeah, sit room. That's not even talking about what was breaking even. That's what was a loss. Operating at a loss, a quarter of their publishing line wasn't even breaking even. So that doesn't tell us what is just breaking even. That doesn't tell us what was making a profit, how much was making a profit. So no, Colin P. Smith. No, they won't. They won't. Colin P. Smith brings up an interesting question. Did they specify which titles? No, and they're not going to. They're not going to tell you. They're not going to admit it. They're not going to tell you what's breaking even. They're not going to tell you what is actually selling. Yeah, Psychodorf 9. Yes, sir, brother. Right there. If you aren't breaking even, you change until you start making money again. Instead of looking at this like a political platform, start looking at it like a business that wants to make money. That is the problem. This entire time, the last, I'd say 5 years, they have been looking at this as a way to inject their political bullshit. Inject their own political bullshit. That's not how you run a comic book industry. Ortega Outlaw, yes, DC is now a 25% toilet paper company. 25% toilet paper company. People are wiping their ass with the comics coming out of DC. They aren't making money. They aren't going to be making money the longer this shit goes on. They just had to fire a huge amount of their staff. A huge amount of their staff. And why? Why did they have to do that? Because right now, toilet paper is more valuable than their damn comic. And there's a reason for that. There's a damn good reason. Why? Because toilet paper's making money. But DC Comics aren't. DC Comics publisher and chief creative officer Jim Lee. Oh, and this was by John F. Trent in Bounding into Comics. Recently discussed the recent layoffs at the company and the future of DC Comics. Speaking with the Hollywood Reporter, Lee stated, "This week has been a really heavy, difficult time, not just for me, but for the entire organization. Because you guys are getting fired left and right because you can't make a good comic. Instead of hiring great people, great storytellers, you guys are hiring shit, woke shit, activists, people that want to use comics as a stepping stone instead of making comics that they love, telling stories that they love, caring about the fucking characters." Ortega Outlaw, dude. I almost want to just leave that up there. A moment of silence for the defender of that terrible, terrible fucking Wonder Woman 1984 cover. And AB Geek, let's talk. They publish about 40 or so comics a month. They need to slash this, consolidate, and hire talent and focus on quality. Yes, not politics. And Trey from Max World Entertainment. It's like I always say, if you don't like the current media, digital or otherwise, make your own like I do. Unwoke and totally filled with fan service with occasional good story in there. People just want a good story. And Purple Valkyrie, pandering to people who won't support the comic is always going to fail. It will always fail. People have said it and said it and said it, and I've said it. These people don't buy comics. They're not going to support your comics. You are all jumping through woke hoops, and it's the wrong demographic. If you made a bike that is pink and you sell that bike specifically to boys, it's completely marketed to boys. Do you think you're going to be selling a lot of bikes? A lot of pink bikes? I don't think you're going to be selling that many pink bikes. Sorry. And we have a $10 super chat from Mexican Iron Man. Thank you so much, Mexican Iron Man. And I'm going to do it because I know you love it, brother. Go Zirasco! And Mexican Iron Man says DC Fandom special show. Yes, we are going to be breaking down the 24-hour event this Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be kicking it off for 24 hours on this channel, reporting on everything DC has planned in the works. And I tell you what, guys, it better be something good. They better have something good in there to knock our damn socks off, because people are losing faith. Loki, Jim Lee needs to realize this is not the 90s anymore. We have more options and have connections to things we never had back then. And we can get it out there. Yes, they think that the big answer is direct to consumer. No, people do not want your comic if it sucks. They aren't going to spend over $1 million like another artist we know gets. We know Ethan gets it. And it's not going to be the same. Just because you're going direct to consumer, oh, we're going to have the streaming service of comic books. No. No. It's not going to work. You dumbass cucks need to realize that we want good comics. We want good stories. We want to be inspired by our heroes. We want to be inspired by Wonder Woman. We want to be inspired by Superman and Batman. We don't want to see them become the laughing stock of heroes. Speaking with the Hollywood Reporter, Lee stated, "This week has been a really heavy, difficult time, not just for me, but for the entire organization. You put yourselves in this situation. I refuse to feel sorry for you. We've said goodbye to people that have been huge contributors and who have helped define and make DC what it is today. Well, then you must have to ask yourself, is what it is today a good thing? And I will say, without a doubt, it is not a good thing. It is not a good thing. He would specifically be asked if DC Comics is still publishing comics. Lee answered, absolutely 100%. It is still the cornerstone of everything we do. The need for storytelling, updating the mythology is vital to what we do. Well, if updating the mythology means turning Batman and Superman into cucked little bitches and making Wonder Woman the SJW land whale that ate Wonder Woman, I don't know what to tell you. You just keep updating there and we just won't keep buying it. Mark the infinitely tired Loki, let the bog 2 die. Sell off the properties to people who actually care for product. Let writers and artists have their time in the sun and see what they can do. I completely agree with you, sir. I completely agree with you. He then added, the organization leans on us to share and establish the meaningful elements of the content that they need to use and incorporate for all their adaptations. I'm going to read that again. The organization leans on us to share and establish the meaningful elements, woke-ass bullshit, of the content that they need to use and incorporate for all their adaptations. Let me explain that. If you're not getting what he is saying, let me explain that. He is saying they have to follow our rules and they have to go through us to find out what is acceptable and what is not. And they think all this shit is acceptable. They think that all of this shit going on is what we want, and it's not, because no one's buying your shit. When we think about reaching global audiences and we see comics as helping drive that awareness and that international brand, it's very much part of our future. If you want to double down, dude, by all means, go ahead. You're not going to sell your fucking comics. Then Lee shockingly revealed just how bad their lineup had been performing. He also detailed they would be reducing the lineup significantly. MB Geek, let's talk. I thought they hit is great with Batgirl. Babs gets walking it back and suffers from PTSD and readjusting. Then they turned her into a teen drunk. That was it for me. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Lee stated, that said, we will be reducing the size of the slate, but it's about looking at everything and looking at the bottom 20%, 25% of the line that wasn't breaking even or was losing money. Okay, so let me get this straight. You're only going to look at what is losing money. You're not going to look at what is barely breaking even, what's not really making you anything. So you're going to keep the Holy Trinity running of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Of course you're going to do that. But you're going to cut out all the fat, and you're not going to cut out what's like rotten on the bone. See, that's the problem. They don't want to take care of the problem. They don't want to take care of the problem. They don't want to really look at the problem. They're just going to size down and keep everything running the way it's running. Well, by all means, you guys go right ahead and do that. We'll see how that works out for you. The fact that a quarter of their lineup doesn't make the company money is shocking in the fact that Lee admitted it. But Lee and former DC Comics publisher Dan Didio had previously detailed in 2008 that things weren't all that well with the comic book industry, specifically DC Comics. This is why you don't follow Marvel. This is why you don't follow Marvel with your nose up their ass. You do your own thing. DDO explained at the time, it's a lot of products. There's still a finite dollar in the marketplace, at least in the direct marketplace. See, they think they're going to fucking send you a comic and it's going to be like, oh, I'll just order and it'll just come to me at home. It's not going to work. Sorry, guys. That we see it recycles through. The base price for periodical comics now is $3.99. For the most part, I have to believe that some of that money goes to buying books at a higher price rather than buying a wider set of books that are out there. He really thinks that if he goes straight to consumers, that this is going to make a difference. Well, it's not. It's not going to make a difference in your case, DC, because your shit sucks. You see, what you have been doing is destroying the characters that we love, destroying their stories, destroying what we love about them, and turning them into shit. He also admitted that there was a sense of contraction in the business. We're just keeping an eye on the market itself. That's one of the reasons why we're trying different initiatives in other areas. Because if there's a sense of contraction taking place, then we've got to show growth in areas that we think there's opportunity, like the young adult market. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just going to fix you right up there, buddy boy. That's just going to fix you right up. Later, he claimed that the first issue of 3 Jokers sold over 300,000 copies and that every issue of the Joker War storyline in Batman has increased in sale numbers. The last reported sales numbers from Comic-Con came in March. Batman 90 shipped an estimated 87,000 copies and Batman 91 shipped an estimated 88,000 copies. Those books were the second and third most shipped books behind Marvel's Spider-Woman #1. That book shipped 142,000 copies. That doesn't mean that it sold that either. The Joker War storyline didn't begin until Batman 95, which debuted in July. They're double talking here. They're saying shipped instead of sold. Okay? So that doesn't mean that consumers bought 140,000 copies of the comic or 300,000 of the comic. It just means that that's what went out to comic shops. And with comic shops going out of business, as our friend Gary over at Nerdrotic would say, comic shops are going out of business. The direct consumer approach is pretty much going to be your only way to get those out to the public. You're going to sell them in Walmart. Is that what you're going to do? You start selling comics in Walmart. You got to put them up next to the tabloid rags. That's where they belong right now, is next to the tabloid rags, because you pretty much made them political hit pieces. That's what you've done. And that's why you just had to fire a shitload of your staff. He then noted that they plan to align the comics with franchise brand content. It's unclear what this means, and Lee doesn't really explain it. Of course he doesn't. He states it was about aligning the books to the franchise brand content we've developed and making sure that every book we put out for a reason. Diversity and inclusivity. Diversity and inclusivity. Diversity and inclusivity. When asked about promoting Mary Javins and Michelle Wells to interim editors-in-chiefs, Lee commented the company to diversity and inclusivity. He told THR, we thought it would be a great pairing to bring them together to help draft and organize the content we're doing along these lines. Across digital, across global, we want to make sure we have diversity and inclusivity and making it in a way that we have authenticity to the storytelling that we're doing. Because, guys, all you need to make a great Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman comic is inclusivity and diversity. It's all you need, diversity and inclusivity. It's really about consolidating all our efforts and having every editor involved in all these directives. The directives of diversity and inclusivity. And also organizing, broadly speaking, in content that is for kids 6 to 11 and then 12 to 45. It's about consolidating format and oversight to a smaller, more concentrated editorial group that are masters of diversity and inclusivity. Because that's what we really care about. That's all we really want. Oh, well, Lee has made similar remarks about diversity and inclusivity in the past. Back in February at C2E2, he detailed what DC Comics editorial focus would be saying. Our focus in talking to editorial teams to continue what we've done best. Character-driven stories that include diversity and inclusivity. Pairing right creators on right characters and developing characters that are inclusive and diverse. Yes, that's what we care about here, don't we? That's all we should care about is inclusivity and diversity. Doesn't matter whether they can draw a comic. It doesn't matter whether they can tell a story. As long as they are the right color and the right sex, that is all that matters. Am I right? Am I right? That's all that matters. Mexican Iron Man, someone send Pudgy to teach these morons. It's about the quality of the stories and ongoing proper treatment of the characters and adherence to character. Yes. Original integrity. Yes. Character original integrity. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. Yes. Someone needs to teach them that. While he announced that their publishing line will be significantly reduced because of, wait for it, diversity and inclusivity. He did state that there is not a pencils down notice. We're not giving up. What we're doing is firing a large portion of our workforce so that we can continue to double down and try and make a profit at the same time. Though it is unlikely that we will, we're going to try. We're going to double down and we're going to make sure that diversity and inclusivity are on the front of every single one of our comics, aligned in every single bubble dialogue. We're going to make sure that we cover it because, you know, we're all about diversity and inclusivity here, folks. We're going to keep drinking that green soy milk because you know what? It's good. If it's good for Luke Skywalker, it's good for us too. Oh, I just, he said everyone has been notified to keep working on all the projects that we've already greenlit and started. To that extent, there is no change. We will continue to go woke and go broke. THR would then ask Lee about a rumor that AT&T wants to get out of the comics book business. Lee responded, I don't think they want us to stop us from publishing comics. Comics serve a lot of different purposes, and one of them is a great way to incubate ideas and creating the next great franchises. Not if they're woke. We want to continue that. Why would you want to stop that? Why would you want to stop creating great content that could be used across the greater enterprise? Dude, why aren't you asking yourself that question? Why would you want to stop creating great content? Well, you're not creating great content. Your numbers fucking prove that you're not creating great content. Your own damn business is falling apart and burning around you, and you can't fucking realize that you're not creating great content. Someone, please pull it out and slap this dumb son of a bitch in the face with it. Because he obviously doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. As for DC Universe, Lee confirmed it would be migrating to HBO Max. He explained the original content that is on DCU is migrating to HBO Max. Truthfully, that's the best platform for that content. The amount of content you get, not just DC, but generally from Warner Media, is huge. And it's the best value proposition. If I'm allowed to use that marketing term, we feel that it is the place for that. Do you know what happened there, guys? Do you know what happened? AT&T came down and was like, bitch, it's going on HBO Max. But why? Well, we got our own streaming platform with comics and shows. And why, Daddy? Why? And AT&T said, because it's going to make us fucking money. That's why. But that shouldn't be all that matters. It should be diversity and inclusivity. And shut up, bitch. That's what we're going to do. Go out there and tell those people this is the best idea. Okay, all right, I'm going. And that's exactly what happened. Have no doubt. That is exactly what happened. He added, in regards to the community and experience that DCU created and all the backlist content, something like 20,000 to 25,000 different titles, and the way it connected with the fans 24/7. Oh, there's something there for each and every one. It's 24/7. We know a guy named 24/7. There's always going to be a need for that. So we're excited to transform it, and we'll have more news on what that looks like in the future. It's definitely not going away, but it is. It's definitely not going away. It'll be there in spirit, but it is going away. You bitch. He then discussed DC Direct and noted that they will be changing their business model to higher price collectible with a focus on licensing. Lee explained, it's about evolving the model, making sure it includes diversity and inclusivity. We want to produce those collectible and serve those fans. Okay. But we will probably shift to a higher price point, collectible, and more of a licensing model, working with manufacturers we already work with. Okay. From a consumer point of view, you can't see the consumer's point of view. Don't tell me about the consumer's point of view. This is why you are losing money. This is why your company is failing, because you can't see the consumer point of view. Oh my God, don't tell me about the consumer point of view. There will not be a change or drop off in the quality of the work they're seeing. Behind the scenes, how we create it and how we get it to them is going to change. We're going to use more diversity and inclusivity. We will still have our principal lead of DC Direct, Jim Fletcher, with the company. He will be showcased in a fun panel with J. Scott Campbell at Fandom. And guys, don't forget, we are going to have a 24-hour live stream breaking down everything in that panel because, God, I'm pissed off at fucking DC Comics. As for the future of DC Comics and where Lee sees the company in 2 years, he believes there will be international content as well as more digital content. Lee elaborated, when you talk about growing our business, both physical and digital, to me, the opportunities are global. As long as we have enough diversity and inclusivity, that's what we'll be focusing on. Sometimes that takes the form of content that we take here and translate and sell in other markets. But we want to partner with creatives in various territories to unlock stories that feel authentic to their marketplaces, with characters that they can embrace as their own, and look for opportunities to take those characters and send them through all our mythology. Oh. So what are we focusing on? And sit room, yes, give me what I want and I'll give you my fucking money. That's all that matters. It's all that matters. Give us what we want and we'll give you money. Chris Persia, part 1. Yes, that's everyone's go-to correction. Do not fix your product, but instead raise the market price. Marvel's work Epic is only working because Disney is still bankrolling them. That's right. That's right. Purple Valkyrie, who the heck buys digital comics? Comics are meant to be held and collected. Yes. Chris Persia, part 2. Once Disney actually listens to its shareholders and switch back to making money, Marvel too will need to reevaluate their worth ethic. Yes. And Kathy Stark, consumer point of view, Mommy, can I have that higher price collectible? No, there's a pandemic. We need food, not superheroes. Should have fired this dude with those they canned. Yeah, and all the rest of the commie bastards working at DC. Oh, did I say that? My bad. My bad. As for their digital strategy, he explains they have to follow the example of Injustice. Oh, that'll save everything. Right there. That will save everything. Let's follow the example of Injustice, where he claims it outsold Batman the year it debuted. It's unclear if he's referring to just digital sales or overall sales. Regardless, he hopes to translate digital success to print success like Injustice, explaining, and when we took that content and reprinted it in physical form, we sold hundreds of thousands of units. It was as big of a hit as a physical as it was in digital. He adds, we'll take the most successful books and repackage it as a physical book. We'll sell you it twice. We'll sell you it twice, folks. Lee also admits that they will focus on digital sales over physical periodicals. I think there is definitely business to be had in physical periodicals. But that said, I think there's greater upside in digital because we can go to a more global audience and the barrier to entry, especially in this pandemic, is lower. It's all the pandemic's fault, guys. It's a lot easier to get digital content in the hands of consumers that want to read stories. We want to lean into that and think thoughtfully what digital content should be, what it should look like, the format. Plus, it doesn't cost us anything to print. We're already using the shittiest paper possible, because we're not going to listen to Ethan say, oh, look at this quality book. Look at this badass, thick quality book you're getting for $20 with beautiful art, with beautiful fucking story. No, we're not going to focus on that at all. So you're fucked. I'm sorry. But yeah, they should have fired that dude when they fired everybody else. Look, I personally do not see anything in that article that says we want to make money. We want to make money. All it is fucking excuses for drinking green titty soy milk. That's all they want to do. That is all they want to do is sit back and pour that green titty milk into their coffee every morning and sip on their soy. They don't actually want to make $1. They don't want to make $1. They want to inject their politics and their bullshit into the comics, into the characters that we love. There is a reason why Batman gets called a cucked little bitch now. You are talking about the baddest son of a bitch ever. You are talking about someone that Darkseid himself was like, you know what? Superman, Wonder Woman, they would have never done what you have done. They would have never stood up to me like this because they don't have the balls to do it. You're talking about a guy that Darkseid could vaporize in a nanosecond. And he stood up to him and said, you know what, bitch, I'm fucking Batman. And you may be used to dealing with Wonder Woman and Superman, but I don't give a shit. I'll blow up your whole damn planet and go down with it to take you down. I'll destroy this entire planet. And Darkseid called him a heartless human being. And I was like, no, he's not a heartless human being. He's fucking Batman. Do you think that would happen today, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think they would dare do something like that? No. No, number one, they don't have the skills to tell that kind of story. Number two, Batman can't be a great hero. He cannot have balls as big as a dump truck. they don't get it. We love Batman because he's Batman. It's not the suit. It's not the Wayne. And yeah, Max World Entertainment. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. Yes. Yes. Skull, brother. He is Batman. But not this cucked bitch I see in the comic today. Not the guy that was crying like a little bitch because Selena dumped him. Navy radar warning. Mexican inbound UFO approaching at 3,500 miles per hour. Tic-tac speed estimated 5 minutes to Earth. Oh, shit, brother. Are we going to buy their shit? No, we're not going to buy their shit. I'm not buying their shit. Not until they come out with something worthy of buying. If they do that, then yeah, I'll spend my money on it. But it's going to get to the point where when I turn my back, it's final. There is a finite limit here. There's a finite amount of shit I can take. And right now, they are pushing to be the dumbest fucking comic book company out there. At least Marvel has Disney to continue to bankroll them. And they can just keep coming out with woke shit after woke shit after woke shit. And Disney will just keep paying and paying and paying and paying. DC doesn't have that kind of life. AT&T will not put up with this shit. AT&T is in the business of making money. They want to make money. That's what they want. Hashtag close your wallet. Yes. Starry-eyed girl. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Mexican Iron Man. Dun 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 dun. Have the mariachis at the ready, folks. They do not want to change the way they're doing things. And that's the problem. That is the problem. As long as they keep doing things the way they're doing things, they're going to keep going broke. All they have to do is make the Holy Trinity badass. Everything after that will follow. Get your artists, get your storytellers, get people that actually care about these characters, not about their own woke agenda. Loki, isn't it odd that 2 days after they released the Wonder Woman variant had started to roll at DC? Dude, who the fuck came out with that? You know what? If I'm an executive at AT&T and I saw that, hey, you want to see the new Wonder Woman cover? Oh yeah, dude, hell yeah, Wonder. Whoa, what the fuck is that? Yeah, dude, Bill just showed me. Isn't it fucking no? No, it's not funny. Quit fucking laughing. Sorry, sir. That's not fucking funny. Tell me that's a joke. Tell me that's a fucking joke. Whoa. No, it's going to be the alternate cover for da-da-da. No, that's a fucking joke. You go and tell Jeff and Dave and Bob that's a fucking joke. Who the fuck approved this? Well, it went through all these editors. Get them on the phone. They're fucking fired. I don't give a shit who had a hand in any of that. You're all fucking fired. Do you know what you just did? You made us look like a fucking joke. You made us look like a fucking joke. You made this company look like a fucking joke. You made our premier badass chick a fucking joke. That's what you did. Oh, it's not Wonder Woman. It's an alien cosplay. No. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a damn what it's supposed to be. You put that giant bitch that ate Wonder Woman on the cover of Wonder Woman 1984. No. No. Cancel it. Well, we can't. We already have a contract. Cancel it. Well, we already have it. Yeah, I bet you they did the contract before they even saw the bitch's fucking work. Cancel it. Pay her off. Get rid of the cover. Don't ever fucking do that. Fire anyone that had a hand in this. Fire every single person that had a hand in it. You just made us look like a fucking joke. There's a time and a place for that. It's not on the cover of our premier female superhero. Yeah, Psychodorf 9. It was a damn dependopotamus. Yeah, Starry-Eyed Girl right there. Stunts like that make comics look like a huge laughing stock. How do they expect people to take them seriously when your employees don't? Thank you. Thank you, Starry-Eyed Girl. They have got to change. It's that simple. They have gotten away with this and gotten away with this as the company is burned down around them. You now have two choices. You can either make money or you can burn in the fire of 1,000 deaths. And yes, Chris Version, that is why manga is winning. That is why manga is winning, folks. That is why manga is kicking the shit out of the comic book industry right now. That is why they are kicking the shit out of the comic books industry. Yeah, Bad Steven Seagal beat up Ryan Johnson. Low-key, comic books today are toilet paper because it's all shitty stories to be wiped up. Yes, I completely agree. I completely agree, sir. Only, oh yeah, Project Storytime, only back issues. They're going to change those, dude. They're going to change those. They're going to change shit in those. They've got a team looking at them. Especially the digital ones. Oh, this is problematic. We best remove it and change it. I say deep pockets are funding the employees and editors, and those deep pockets will get turned off, funding the fools that are burning down the company. This is like the wasp and the caterpillar. Yes. And Kathia Star, manga is awesome. Yes, I completely agree. Kathia Star. Keely Chow, manga equals Alabama DC and Marvel equals Auburn Roll Tide. Oh, shit. And Soul Assassin, thank you, brother. Meanwhile, EBS and other writers are finding success with their work and respecting the fans. Yes, they are. And the fans love it. You know why? Because Ethan says, guys, you know what I want to do? I want to bring you a great book. I want to bring you a book that you're going to love. I want you to look at that price tag of $20 or $25. And I want you to know that, you know what? Every cent that I'm spending on this book is worth it. Why? Number one, it's going to be a beautiful book. Number two, it's going to be thick. Number three, it's going to be written extremely well with characters that you love and characters that you care about. I want to make my fans happy. The fans I have, not the fans I could have. And Mary's Game Room just tipped $1. Thank you so very much, Mary, and Skull.
There it is! It's beautiful! Take your hat off, boy, that's a dollar bill!
And Mary says, been off and on this morning, so I'll have to go back and listen to the whole thing all at once. The day job is getting in the way, but they need to leave our characters and comics alone. Hell yes, Mary. Hell yes, Mary. Leave the characters alone. Didn't anyone ever tell them you don't have to reinvent the wheel? Just give your customers what they want. Yeah, they haven't hit bucket yet. And you know what? By the time they do, I may not have any interest at all in any of their characters or any of their stories because they will have ruined them. It's like Luke. They ruined Luke in the sequel trilogy. I can go back and I can watch my Luke. That's not my Luke. I can go back and watch my Superman, but that's not my Superman. It's that easy to explain. 24/7 would say, well, that's why you've got the alternate Earth guys and this and that and the other, because some people like this one and some people like that one. Project Storytime. The AT&T executives are looking at EBS and wondering, how can a small indie artist make that much money on one book while we barely get by with a huge library? Make no mistake, they're watching. They won't do what EBS did. They won't. They're going to try and market it the way EBS markets it, but it's still trash. Okay? You can dress it up in a nice bow. You can color it interesting colors, but trash is still trash. And if all they're doing is writing trash, well, then that's all they're doing. Cobalt and Pudgy, hello Pudgy. If DC and Marvel shut down just on back issue content, they have 80 years worth of material. So these silly people are talking themselves out of jobs. Yes, sir. And Sammy Joe just tipped $9.99. Thank you so very much, Samantha Joe. And Sco!
There it is! It's you! Take your hat off, boy, that's a dollar bill!
And Samantha Joe says, instead of reinventing the wheel, why don't they write original work? Original work. That is a good question, Samantha Joe. And I will say this. It is up to all of us. It's up to people like the Doctor of Destruction, Adega Outlaw. It is up to the writers out there that have been looked past, that love these characters. It is to the artists that have been told, well, you're not the right color, you can't work here. It is up to all of us that work hard, that love these characters, that want to be invested in these characters. It is up to us to create our own content. It is up to us to create our own story, whether that's with a group of friends on an RP night, whether that's playing Dungeons and Dragons, whether that is making a comic, drawing a comic, writing a novel, doing whatever it is you have to do to get those awesome characters out there. That is exactly what. Wait. Oh, son of a.
Welcome back, Skyman.
Boss?
Yeah.
I'm not apologizing for breaking in this morning. I'm not going to say who I spent the night last month, but let's just say it was in a very peaceful, soothing, and luscious galaxy far, far away. And let's just say that a certain Iron Man got up this morning to turn on the internet radio to, start his day, and he was ready for a happy show. He was ready for a happy show. A happy show that was going to be optimistic, talk about next weekend's event, and make announcements and get everybody in Valhalla involved. And guess what happened instead?
DC happened.
Well, my little demigod and my little lord, the boss man of the mountain, the guy who puts it all together, decided to go ahead and read a certain news article this morning. Well, isn't that special?
They are. There are some special people over there at DC Comics
we just
right
couldn't
now.
leave the little hellfire of article to the side of the bed this morning, could we, Mr. Demigod Loki?
No.
You have to go ahead and continue your way of truth and justice and exposing honesty to what's going on in the world. You just couldn't sit on it one little day and let Iron Man Mexican get his little morning groove on.
No.
No. And so we read this little article that clearly is not written by someone who is of holy background, of integrity, of writer consistency, of quality, of insight.
Pudgy agrees with you. Pudgy
Who
likes
wrote
happy
this little
stuff.
article? Was it Satan? Satan? Because everything that I heard this morning was just a little bundle of evil. Pudgy, I'm sorry. I'm going to use some. I'm going to use some naughty words this morning, Pudgy. So Pudgy might want. Someone might want to get some over-the-ear headphones for Pudgy. Does anyone have any beat-port over-the-ear headphones for Pudgy? Because I'm afraid little Pudgy's going to explode. Well, let's see what Satan said in our little article. You know, we had a nice little game plan. We're going to get all revved up for this weekend. We're going to tell them we're cheerleaders. We're going to cheer them on. We're going to say maybe they made the right decisions because they fired a lot of woke folk. That is a news article that fuckhead Lee wrote. You know who Lee is, right? You know he's a Harvard MBA grad?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I've said it before, and I can say this because I went to Stanford. Why the flying fuck do they let idiots like these morons I went to private school, Ivy League school with, in charge of this shit? The only thing these morons know about is like shortcuts, buying tests, using blow, getting wasted, and having mom and daddy pull them out of bail bonds at 4 a.m. when they go too far. Unbelievably, when you have unlimited wealth and money and your parents help you do whatever the flying fuck, especially once you get to Harvard and Stanford, these schools don't let you fail. You know that, right? They don't let you fail.
No,
no matter what you do.
No, you get a trophy for everything.
What background does this motherfucker have being in charge of this shit?
He doesn't. And that's what I don't understand.
And how does Bimbo and Barbie get to be the number 2 and 3 persons?
Because they're women.
No.
Just like Kathleen Kennedy right there, Chris Persia. I thought Satan's name was more commonly known as Kathleen Kennedy.
Well, apparently Chris Satan got ejected from Kathleen Kennedy, and he got bored sitting at home because I guess Kathleen didn't, have too much action on the side and shit. So Satan done went and found himself a new host of Jim Lee over at DC Comics. So Satan and his little mask of little Mary Wonders and little Satan evil demons are over there bouncing around DC comic books, as evidenced by the ridiculous cover that I saw on Friday night. I have a question.
Yeah.
Now, I know Wonder Woman's probably she's like 60 years old now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Older than that.
Okay, so Linda Carter started playing Wonder Woman in 1984, I think it was, right?
Right.
Or 78 or some shit like that. 74?
Like that, 79, 80.
If they put Linda Carter on the cover of the fucking Wonder Woman magazine, she looked 10 times hotter than that bitch.
Yeah, if they'd used a picture of Linda Carter dressed up as Wonder Woman in 1984, yeah. Oh, yeah. They'd be selling boatloads right now.
Linda Carter could take me to Hollywood Pedophile Island and do whatever she wants, no matter how old I am. That's how hot she still is.
God.
Oh, Linda, Wonder Woman, please save me from being Mexican. I don't know what to do tomorrow. Do I make tacos or burritos? I just don't know. Okay, I'll make you tacos and burritos. And we're actually gonna give them coverage. And I thought it would be a weekend of saying nice things about their game plan. You know what it's gonna turn into? It's gonna turn exactly what we're gonna do. It's gonna turn into a fucking Burning Man online event.
Yeah.
We're gonna cover every panel this week. Look, you tell them what we're gonna do when you rant and you sign us off. I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna get away, and I'm just gonna say this. This is so fucking disappointing. I mean, how stupid is it? Let's just use the word insecure, you Asian fuck. You're Asian. You gotta have more confidence in this. You're Asian and you went to Harvard Business School. Bad Asian graduate. Bad. And I can say that because I'm Mexican. Bad minority. That lack of confidence. He's like, gosh, I just realized I'm the only Asian. I'm in charge of a fucking major creative property in Hollywood. Fuck, I better say anything before they can me. Yeah, it's just like everybody Posh says when he's on, Jeremy and Midnight's Edge. You know who I'm talking about, right? the
Yep.
writer from Hollywood.
Yeah.
He is beyond scared dickless. He's like, really? I got promoted here? Holy shit, fuck. All right, give me some two bitches. All right, bitch one, bitch two, you're both white. That's diverse. Okay, you guys are number 2 and 3 in charge. Let's go take this mountain.
Eastland Burkholder says Linda Carter pictured going to buy groceries would sell comic book covers. Yes, it would.
Imagine Linda Carter beating a Mexican Iron Man with his own red, white, and green thong. How many photos that would sell? How many issues that would sell as an alternative cover?
Yeah.
What was the quote you said that really pissed me off? We are going to go find new communities and find their stories, and then we'll go find me that. It was on the second to last page. Where was that? Read that again.
Give me just a second. I have to pull it back.
We're going to go and find new, communities, stories, and tell their stories so that we can have new. What the fuck was that?
I'm looking for it.
They were kids or not born when our heroes were on. You know what? That is absolutely.
Okay. Sometimes that takes the form of content that we take here and translate and sell in other marketplaces. But we want to partner with creatives in various territories and unlock their stories that feel authentic to their marketplaces with characters that they can embrace as their own.
Stop. I can't take anymore. Various territories. See, I lived in Hollywood for over 10 years. For over 10 years, I had one of my accounting offices was in fucking Santa Monica, ground zero of this region. Santa Monica is right next to Westwood, right next to fucking West Hollywood, right fucking there near the studios. Not as far over as Burbank, but on the west side of town, where all these motherfuckers sleep and hang out and party. All right? I even did my accounting firm, even for 2.5 years, we did movie film accounting until I decided I was disgusted with it. You wouldn't believe how many different ways they try to get you to recategorize liquor and cocaine that's not on the fucking budget. I got sick of it. Lack of integrity. The bullshit I did for 2.5 years. I said, fuck it. I'm not doing financial statements a lie anymore.
Instead of, this is what gets me. Instead of concentrating on the Holy Trinity or characters that we know, we love villains that we know and love. We're going to go out and we're going to create entirely new pointless lines for people in little niche areas that are only
new communities. So these new communities are going to be what? The transvestites that live in Santa Monica off of what, between 27th and 34th Street? Yeah. Is that a community? Oh no. We're gonna cover the woke ass bitches that can't afford to live on that side of town because mom and dad didn't give enough money, so they're more in Studio City or more like Covina or Culver City.
And Keely Chow, no one wants to see a girl with a flat ass. Sarah Michelle Gellar in an issue of Maxim. She did say that.
The whole point of comic, this is what I find so ultimately hilarious that these guys are morons, right? I agree that these guys weren't born with it, but you're missing something. What year was Superman created? 39?
It was 39.
When did Batman come out? A year and a half later? 2 years later?
Wonder Woman.
Right? Okay. These motherfuckers are 70, 80 years old. This has nothing to do with the fact that the characters were not around when we or they or the younger generation weren't. The difference is this. The difference is that we have an entire generation of morons who didn't read, were shittily raised by their parents. And yeah, I'm going to fucking say it again. Okay? Because it has to be said. When you have broken homes and you have men that weren't there, that weren't, good men for their children, and you have the breakup of the nuclear home, shit goes to hell in a handbasket statistically. That being said, I applaud the efforts of single women to raise their children. I am a product of one of them. I was adopted 3 different times by 3 different single women until I grew up.
And a $4.99 tip from Yodam Darkstar. Thank you so very much, Yodam, and score!
There it is! Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
And Yodam doesn't say anything, but thank you so very much, Yodam. You were a product of a broken home, Mexican Iron Man.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I see life the way these morons do, and that's what we're going to hold them accountable to this weekend. Because what happened is that I don't know what the fuck it was, a cell phone. I don't know what it is about these fucks, but somehow they think like the world didn't start till 2000 and fill in the fucking blank. 2006, You know, when I don't know, they lost their house with their parents. I don't know when the fuck they think it's there. 1991 with the first internet crisis. I'm sorry, 2001. I don't know when exactly, but somewhere is their breaking line for history. Maybe it's a new millennium. I don't fucking know. Because I'm going to tell you this: Superman and Batman were way fucking old as fuck when I discovered them. I just discovered them at a different place. I discovered them in the 90s.
Yeah.
I didn't discover. By the way, I didn't discover Luke Skywalker when that movie came out because we didn't have money to go out. I didn't see him in the theater. I saw him at home. But my point is that these people have no sense of what fucking life is like. I cannot fucking believe this. He's basically just repeated the Kathleen Kennedy game plan for success, and he's about to walk into the fire. You know, it is so fucking easy. Star Trek and Star Wars. It just absolutely boggles me how moronically stupid these higher educated leftist dumb fucks are. How can you go to Harvard and have an MBA and write something so stupid as those answers? The answer for because all these fucks did the same thing. They all went to these schools. I know these fucks. I didn't go to school with any one of them particularly, but I went to school with pretty much for the first 10, 15 years of my professional life, dealt with morons exactly like these fucks, like JJ, like Kirsten, like all these fucks. And it's so simple. They're so cocky and arrogant, they don't see the answer in front of them. For example, you want good Trek? You want good Star Wars? Here's some good Star Wars. Go get some real fucking fans and some real writers. Have a focus group and ask them what they'd like to see in the next 6, 7 movies. Bam.
They can't do that though. They gotta have a room full of fucking fat, pissed off, blue-haired landwells.
And why is that?
Because that's what they think is gonna get them somewhere.
No, it's because some of them are pussy ass bitches and don't have any confidence of men, and these dip fucks do things in front of them, and these bitches hold them hostage. That's what happens. They do blow or they do this. I was in Hollywood, bro. I'm telling you, there's a lot of that shit going on where people have shit over each other.
It's a different
Epstein shit was just the boiling point.
Number two,
Star Trek.
World.
Star Trek. You want to be successful? Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. And what's that supposed to do? Boldly go to seek out new life, new civilization. Boldly go where no one's fucking gone before. Follow that, Kurtzman, and you're gonna have a great fucking TV show. There's your instruction manual. Fucking go.
Well, you don't even have to do that. Look at Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine didn't have to boldly go. They just fucking had a space station.
Okay, well, see now you get no. Hold on. With Deep Space Nine, I'm gonna say au contraire. Let me tell you what Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine is the same thing. It's just space, the final frontier. These are the explorations which happen there or anywhere we choose to be.
Yep. Including,
by the way. This is why the Deep Space Nine things we left on the cutting room floor, whatever the fuck, that documentary is so amazing. Yes, because Deep Space Nine it wasn't just about where did they physically go. That was original series, and that was Next Generation, which by the way, half the episodes of Next Generation sucked. But that was more from an execution standpoint, not from a writing point. But anyways, when you get to Deep Space Nine, bro, it's about where do you psychologically go? Where do you culturally go? Where do you ethnically go? Where do you politically go? Deep Space Nine did what none of the other fucking series did, and it went wherever it could culturally, spiritually, emotionally. Yep. Look at all the relationships. Emotionally, dude, Deep Space Nine is 3D level chess. It ain't checkers.
Yeah.
It ain't checkers.
No.
Person doesn't even know how to fucking play bridge, let alone checkers or backgammon.
No, and there's a reason why Cisco is my favorite captain of all time.
Because he's the most complex.
He's the most complex.
And most intelligent.
And he lets his emotions out.
That's right. And you know what? And he says, I don't give a flying fuck. That's transfer me out. Because he says, where are you going to find another motherfucker that wants to be captain and command level, senior command, by the way, and is willing to sit on a fucking, starbase out in the middle of fucking nowhere at the front of the war?
Yeah.
No one's taking that job. By the time you get a starship, it's to reward you for an amazing career. Generally. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah.
Every captain that Kurt Meek is old as flying fuck. Anyways, back to TC, back to topic. Let's get back on topic here. How do you have some good fucking shit? I don't know. Why don't you go back and look at what were the most popular fucking like serial storylines that ever happened? The ones that sold the best. And bring those back.
Yeah.
because they don't read. These morons don't even read comic books. In the same way that Kathleen Kennedy, that fucking brainless bitch, probably watched Lifetime Network more than she ever watched a fucking thing from the extended universe. These motherfuckers don't even pick up any of the extended universe comic books. We don't have any books. We don't have any comic books. We don't have any source material, including the shit that George handed me in my hand that I put in my fucking McDonald's In-N-Out burger thing in my car the day I met with him. She looked straight at the camera, and without knowing she was a retard, because she doesn't want to look like her, we don't have any source material. Oh, no, we don't, bitch. You don't have any source material because you don't read.
Well, you know what? I want to throw something out there to you. Last night, I was on with Speak for the Dead, and they were talking about the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance show that went on Netflix. Looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The problem was with story. And I want to tell you something. One of the things they talk about in the documentary is when they get the story group together that's going to work on all the episodes, the woman's like, you know what, everyone? I just realized that everyone in this story group is a woman. We're all women. Isn't that special? Oh, I stole your line, sir.
But what about diversity?
They don't care. They don't give a shit about that.
Well, but if they're all women, what about diversity?
They don't care.
No,
it's just
it says right in the article. You just read it. They care about diversity and inclusion.
They don't. It's all about agenda. It's all about agenda. They don't give shit. They're going to use words like that to prop themselves up and make themselves seem important. That's all it is. That is all it is. It has nothing to do with true diversity. It has nothing to do with great stories. It has nothing to do with any of the things that we feel are important, that we hold dear. It is about agenda. All of it is about agenda. They want to push their agenda. They want to push their narrative, and they won't stop until they burn
the cover of one. I'll put a little Pudgy and Kobo. Hey Pudgy, I don't know what to tell you, buddy, but you might have to strap it on. I might have to send you a couple of fucking lightsabers in a backpack that was sour cream and guacamole, launchers. It is true. I mean, the Wonder Woman cover. I wonder what that issue is going to be about. It's like Wonder Woman proves that she can eat 14 quarts of ice cream and watch the Lifetime Network for 48 hours in a row.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what are the heroic adventures of Wonder Woman on that fucking cover of that fucking comic.
And Hamlet's strategy makes a very good point. A lot of students try to bluff their way through book reports. There's no passion for the material, even material they like.
DC wants to follow fucking Marvel. Here we go. I love how there's still never been an article about this. I have never seen an article about what I'm about to fucking say. And we all know it, and we're all going to go, that's right. And if one of you found an article, I'd love to find it. I'd love you to send it along. Why did the Marvel Universe work out so well in terms of making so much money from Marvel Studios before and after the sale of Disney? You know why? Why?
Tell us why.
Because every movie that happened was consistent to a large measure, an overwhelming measure, to the original story treatment of the fucking characters. When we're sitting there in the theater, and by the way, I was not a Marvel guy. I was a DC guy, like 80-20 in terms of the only character I liked from DC was Iron Man as a kid. Honestly, that was the only one. That's why I'm Mexican Iron Man. So, but the thing is, it's like I was overwhelmed with DC. But when we were all sitting there in the theaters, because I had an awareness, all my cousins and all that shit, they bought tons of Marvel shit, so I had read it all over. We're sitting there saying, "Is this how it was when I was a kid?" Even if it was a different story, isn't that true, Loki?
It's true.
Did Wolverine look like Wolverine looked in any of the comic books? Yes. Even when they brought his brother Saber, remember when he even looked like the original comic?
Yes, he did.
You know
both versions. The one in the original X-Men movie and the one in Wolverine. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And frankly, Tony Stark Iron Man, one of the reasons they had a problem with him in the movies is they actually adhered to his character. Tony Stark was look, and this is going to be tough to say because this is like exposing some of who I am. Not necessarily the most quiet guy in the room. Not necessarily the guy who lacked much confidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It could be argued that Iron Man, Tony Stark, etc., is not the most, kind of, he's no Clark Kent. He's no he's no Boy Scout.
He is a Boy Scout.
Tony Stark is a Boy Scout?
No, you said Clark Kent.
He is no Clark Kent. Tony Stark is no Clark Kent.
No, Tony is no Clark Kent. No.
Yeah.
Clark Kent is a Boy Scout. Yeah.
Clark Kent is a Boy Scout, and that's why we love him. But when we saw the first movie of him, we saw what? We saw Christopher Reeves.
We saw Christopher Reeves.
Now, all DC love to do, and it's true. Whoever said this in the chat is 100% true. DC has always followed Marvel for some stupid ass reason, even back in the 80s and 90s. They've always kind of followed them in weird ways, right? But here's the thing: the reason Marvel was so successful is they just they made people not be able to criticize this shit. Like it wasn't, I mean, that's all we care about. Does it look real? And look at the Captain Marvel shit with Brie Larson. 90% of the bitching was that they were like changing the character. Who's the real Captain Marvel? Was it the black chick? Which it was, by the way. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you something.
So if DC wanted to make money, all it has to do is go back to the integrity. But we have a problem with DC. And here's the problem we have with DC that we don't have with Marvel. Here it is. The problem we have with DC is the fact that some of the best DC was the alternative DC with the dark shit. I'm talking Joker, I'm talking Batman, I'm talking Darkseid, I'm talking Superman, and it's one of the biggest problems that Zach had. Zach had a massive problem. Those of us who know our comics know this. Zach tried telling, and he would have had 3 movies, right? Right. He only got 1.5, but even in that 1.5 movies, there's no fucking way. He was trying to tell 6 stories in 3 movies. You understand this, right?
Yeah.
The way the Justice League came together,
They
rushed one story, which has fucking nothing to do with how he did it, because Batman never put together the Justice League. Batman was always the fucking last guy in. Not exactly a team player.
No, he was not a team player.
No. Number 2, we covered Death of Superman. Not exactly some of our happiest days. If you've been a fan of Batman for 80 fucking years, not exactly our happiest days, the Death of Superman. Remember how you felt when you looked at that cover?
Yeah.
So we're covering the dark part. And if you think about it, what we're doing is like DC is, their reset is the darkest period of shit. And they've made a major fucking mistake, which to understand that what this country needs now is not to hold on to that. In fact, if you think about it, Batman the Animated Series was pretty fucking dark. It was also the most successful series for Warner Brothers. What they need to do now is get their head out of their ass, look around and say, what we need 1978 Superman, because that's why most of the Superman fans in DC right now don't like this Superman, because this is not the real Superman. This is the dark Superman who hasn't found himself yet or refound himself, right?
Right.
You're a Superman expert.
Yes.
Tell me the truth. Don't we Superman is problematic right now because we got to fix his ass.
No, they think that.
They think no. Yeah, exactly. They think they got to fix his ass when in reality the Superman we need is the one we mostly got for 85 fucking years.
Yes. The Christopher Reeve Superman.
Have we seen that hopeful Superman?
No.
No, we briefly saw him in Man of Steel.
We saw Superman in Man of Steel that.
But then guess what? We crushed him when he killed what's his face at the end.
Well, not just that, he let his dad die.
That's right.
Superman would never let John.
Superman would never let his dad die. Number 1, and number 2 is that there's no fucking way he would have killed General Zod at the end. He would have found a way to get him back in the fucking mirror universe, whatever the fuck.
Or throw him into the limitless depths of the Fortress of Solitude.
Exactly. Anyways,
there is a old storyline where Superman goes to an alternate reality where Zod and those 2 minions of his
rule the world. That's what I'm talking about.
And he kills them both. He kills them. He kills them in that alternate reality. That's where we get the Supergirl that is in the Death of Superman comics. That Supergirl is not the original Supergirl. That Supergirl was created by the Lex Luthor of an alternate Earth. I was a huge Supergirl fan on the CW for the first year and change. Yep.
And then I counted up. I'm like, wait a minute. We've spent more minutes in this show talking about the gay relationships of her adopted sister than we have fighting bad guys. That was at that point I knew I'd had enough Supergirl.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, so it looks like this week is going to turn into a real. I'm going to get a lot of sleep this week because it looks like I got to store up because it's going to turn into a real shit show this weekend. But hopefully we can get our friends to hold us accountable. And this is what I think we do. We hold their motherfucking asses accountable so they get immediate feedback because this is what DC is doing this weekend. DC is about to launch what its game plan is to the entire planet this fucking Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. They hate heroes and stories of struggles and tales of moral choices and resulting consequences. Yes, they do. I completely agree with that. They hate it. And we love it. We love it. We love these characters. We will fight for these characters. And that's why we are going to do a 24-hour live stream this Saturday, because we love these characters and they should not be treated the way they're being treated. They should not be written the way they're being written. That you should not have an elder Superman who was teaching his son, Jonathan, right from wrong, that is going to turn into the king of the world.
Loki, I'm gonna go get a drink in the fucking bar back here. Wrap her up, baby.
Guys, thank you so much for being here today. Thank each and every one of you. We are not going to stop. We are not going to quit fighting for these wonderful characters that we love and that we care about. And if you love and care about them as much as we do, please come by Saturday and hang out with us and watch the DC Fandom event as we cover it for 24 hours from noon until night and into the morning. We are going to have a great panel of guests. We are going to have a great panel of hosts, and I cannot wait to see each and every single one of you there this weekend. Do not miss the Valkyries coming up in just a little over 30 minutes. Everyone have a great Monday, and we will catch you tomorrow morning for another Mornings of Mischief.
these videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.